my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel, and welcome to another edition of This or That, or maybe the other thing. Well, today I want to talk a little bit about joy. I've been getting a lot of questions about, now that all the holidays are over and the push for all the crochet designs are somewhat over, because, we hit the beginning of the school year, with fall and Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas and holidays, and we were going super strong. And then all of a sudden, those are over and it's a new year, and we're like, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to crochet. I think I've lost my Crojo. And if you're feeling this way, you're not alone. I think it happens to a lot of us, and not just crocheters, other crafters also, because we've been pushing so hard, and now we're like in this spot where we're not sure what to do. And we're kind of burnt out on our projects. We've got a lot of them we didn't finish. There's things laying around that need to be done. And so what we're going to talk about today is, have you lost your Crojo, and how do we get it back? Okay. I would never say that I've lost my love of yarn, because I love yarn. I love how it feels. I love to crochet with it. I love the colors. There's nothing I love more than walk into a store that has yarn and see it all nicely displayed. Okay. But sometimes we just get burnt out. So how do we get past this? I have a couple of things to remind you of. Number one, you need to have a spot where you can grab your yarn, maybe grab some crochet books, or grab a tablet and go to Pinterest or Ravelry or some of our fun places, YouTube of course, and look at some other projects, because we need to reinvigorate our mind. Okay, spring is coming. We need to plan for summer. So we need to think ahead on this stuff. But the thing is, you need to get in a spot that you're not going to be interrupted. If you're at home with little kids, maybe the kids take a nap and you can have, an hour time to yourself. Or maybe up early in the morning before anybody gets up, have a cup of coffee and a nice, calm, quiet time, so that you're not running gangbusters from the time you get up in the morning. And then it becomes a calming time just to think, maybe look at some crochet patterns, and that will help you. Another thing that you can do, which is harder nowadays than it used to be, is go to your local store that carries yarn. And it's really hard now because a lot of the stores have really cut back on their yarn. But just go and look at it. Another thing you can do is go online. I love to go to Premier. Of course, I'm affiliate with Premier Yarn. And look at all their new yarn, look at all their old yarn. And I think about projects that I've made in the past with some yarns. And I think, oh, I could remake this in this yarn, and that would be lovely. And I do have some things like that coming up, because that is something that I do this time of year, is I go back and look at some of my old projects and yarns that they just don't make anymore. And I think, how can I use new yarns to make these new projects have a brand new appearance? Another thing that we need to remember is that yarn and crochet and crafting can be very healing. When we've lost our Crojo, it's like, but if we can remember that we can do just a small project, maybe some appliques or a small little stuffy, or something that's not going to take a long time, like a huge blanket, and do something small and complete it, it gives us a feeling of completeness. And then we've finished it, and we have that feeling that we did complete something, and you love what you've made. Make something silly and fun, like some of those support potatoes or support pickles. I love the support pickle that I was given. I keep it right there on my desk, and so those little projects can help us. And then lastly, another way that you can kind of get out of your slump is to make something for someone else. Because I have found that when I make something for someone else, I'm thinking about that project and the person that I'm giving it to. Sometimes I'm even praying for them while I'm making it. You know, and there are a lot of really great projects out there making hats and mittens and scarves for some of the homeless shelters and women's shelters. And there's a lot of really neat projects that you can do that don't take up a whole lot of time. Like maybe you just have a couple hours in the morning or in the evening. You can work on a hat. And in a couple of days, you'll have a finished hat that you can give to someone. Okay, and so instead of thinking about how overwhelmed we feel, maybe we can think about the other person and that we're making it for them and it makes us feel better, you know? And then when we give it to them and say, here's a nice warm hat, or here's a nice warm scarf, or here's a little toy for you to play with, you know, then that will make you feel better as well. I do want to say one last thing, and that is it's okay to take a break. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you look around, you've got a bunch of unfinished projects, you can always put them in zip bags, or if they're big, like a blanket, put them in a tote or something. I keep a tote, I'm pointing over there, but it's actually over there next to my closet, that I have some unfinished projects in that I started. I loved the yarn, but it was a bigger project and I didn't get it finished. So pack them away for a little bit. If you have a yarn room like I do, you can close the door and just go out of that room for a week or two and do something else. This time of year, you know, we're kind of stuck in the house because it's kind of cold. We've got snow coming through again. And so it's kind of hard to like leave the house a lot. But if you can get out and just take a quick walk around your yard, I like to go out and just kind of look at how everything's doing. You know, my flowers and my trees and all of that stuff. Just get away from the crochet and the yarn for just a little bit of time. Give yourself a break. It's okay. But don't stop, forever. Get back into it after a couple of weeks because you'll miss it. You really, really will. Every time I take a break, and it's like, okay, I've slotted off this week. We're going to go somewhere, or we're going to do something or visit someone. And before that visit's over, I'm already itching to maybe hit the store wherever we're at and pick up some sort of yarn to make something. You know, that's just how my brain works. But anyway, I'm just trying to say it's okay to take a break, but don't give up on it. Don't let it frustrate you because you don't feel it right now, okay? It's normal. It really is this time of year. All right, so bottom line is if you need a break, take a break. And I'm also curious to know if any of you do this. Do you go through this slump like I do? And I just call it losing my Crojo, losing my love of crochet, but it always comes back.